Alabama football gets their quarterback. Let's talk about it. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Offsides, your favorite Alabama sports show on YouTube, where we do everything everybody else does, just a little bit different. Happy Tuesday morning. Things are rolling for the Tide right now. For those of you who don't know, I get it. People have jobs. Maybe they're not following folks on social media. Things are happening. We've been telling you they're coming. Well, they're starting to, the dominoes are starting to fall. One fell today. Alabama flips 4-star quarterback Jett Thomalla, former Iowa State commit, will now land with the Tide. Now, what does this mean? Like a lot of us probably don't know this guy. Who is he? Where is he coming from? Like, what is he good? What is it? Cotton, tell us. Well, I'm going to. A lot of recruiting stuff's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. We got a video coming out about Xavier Griffin later. We've got an interview coming up with 4-star linebacker Nick Abrams. Alabama's official visit weekend is insane. The guest list is going to be nuts. So there'll be a lot of news coming out over the next few days. And if you don't want to miss it, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. You won't miss a thing. We got you covered. A little under the weather, so I may have to clear my throat a couple of times in this video. I apologize in advance. But let's talk about Jett Thomalla, the 4-star quarterback out of Nebraska, Omaha, from Millard South High School. He is the number 16 quarterback in the 2026 class, the number 1 player out of Nebraska. Rated 92 overall by 247. Dude, I get it. You guys are kind of like, we don't know this guy. He's not a 5-star. He's not what we're used to, bringing in. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about who he is, what he can do. And we're going to talk about how Alabama is evaluating quarterbacks. And we're going to talk about what this means for the quarterback room overall. So please stick around for the whole video. But let's start with Andrew Irvin's director of scouting, his evaluation that he placed back in April. He's a decorated, this is about Jett Thomalla. He's a decorated prep signal caller with some peaks and valleys on the game tape, but one that has a chance to emerge as a winner on Saturdays. Looks the part with a budding frame. This kid is almost 6'4", 205 pounds. Big kid, big quarterback. He set multiple records as a junior while leading his team to its first state title in 15 years. He threw 47 touchdowns to 3 interceptions in his junior year. We'll see what his senior year looks like, but it's pretty solid efficiency, and that's what Alabama's used to at the quarterback position, right? He's comfortable operating out of the gun in single bat sets and seems to find the most success working the quick perimeter game. More than capable of extending plays and creating opportunities when the pocket breaks down as he climbs away from pressure and keeps his eyes downfield. So I've watched some tape on this kid, some footage of him from his junior year, and everything that Andrew says there for 247 is spot on. But something that I noticed, this kid's a legit gunslinger. He has a cannon for an arm. And when I say cannon, we're talking like missiles, baby. Like, he can sling it. It's nothing for him to get 140, 50 yards down the field to a wide open guy. He's also, there are some accuracy issues with him, but ultimately when he's on, he's hitting guys in stride. He's got a really good receiving core there at Millard. But Alabama does too, right? So I think this kid, given Ryan Grubb's offense, given Kalen DeBoer's offensive mindset and how Alabama wants to play down the field, stretch it out with their wide receivers, I think this kid could be one that comes in. He sits behind Keelan Russell for a year or two, learns the system, develops, and could be a real diamond in the rough, which leads me to talk about how Alabama's recruiting these quarterbacks. Now, what's interesting here is this follows, I can't remember who pointed this out earlier. It might have been Clint Lamb, might have been Brett Greenberg. Somebody pointed it out, and it's a really really, really interesting topic is the way the cadence of how this happened with Keelan Russell last year and what just happened today with Jett Thomalla are very similar. Very, very similar. This is a kid I wouldn't be surprised he gets a huge bump at some point in the fall. We'll see what he does in the Elite 11 and in his senior season to see if he can potentially pick up a fifth star. But in terms of going out, actually evaluating a guy, not just going and grabbing the top rated 5-star, overpaying for a high school kid, actually evaluating a guy who's system oriented, and somebody that can get out there, stretch the field, can make big plays down the field. When wide receivers coming into college, they're looking at these quarterbacks, who's going to be throwing to, and that's what they want to see, somebody who can get me the ball downfield. And Thomalla can do that. He can absolutely do that. Now, there's room for improvement, just as with anybody coming out of high school into D1. But it's just really interesting how Keelan Russell's commitment. He was committed to SMU, then he flips. He gets put on the national stage, goes to the Elite 11 and shows out, gets his fifth star, and now everybody's just super excited for him to play at Alabama. Thomalla is following that same trend. So it's very interesting to kind of watch this progress. And, a lot of people I've seen in comment sections are like, Alabama doesn't even have a quarterback in this class. Well, that's because I think that they are evaluating the talent a little different. They're not willing to just jump on the first guy who shows interest. They want to evaluate and make sure they get the right person in there who can run the system that they want to run. Jalen Milroe was not great for Kalen DeBoer's system. He was fitted for a different kind of system. And in a lot of games, it worked last season. LSU, it worked. But in other games, it didn't. And so I don't think they want to find themselves in that trap again. Now, what's interesting about Thomalla is he's a gunslinger because he can get it downfield, but he's mobile. He is not a true dual threat quarterback, I don't think. But, this isn't a guy who's just going to sit there. As Andrew Ivan said, he can move around in the pocket. Right? He's really good in the perimeter game. I think this is a diamond in the rough type guy, much like Keelan Russell. Nobody was talking about Keelan Russell last year until he was a 3-star, and then he flipped to Alabama, got his 4th star, and before it was all over with, ends up with a 5th star. Right? He blew up on the scene because people were making fun of the fact that Alabama flipped an SMU quarterback. Well, Alabama just flipped an Iowa State quarterback, and they're kind of in the same boat. Now, what does this mean for the quarterback room going forward? That's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Alabama right now has 3 capable quarterbacks in their quarterback room. Austin Mack is in there. That's the one that everybody's going to point at. I think it's kind of a collective agreement that if Ty Simpson has a good year, he could potentially draft. And so it would be Keelan Russell's go, right? So if Keelan Russell goes, if Keelan Russell's starter, what does that mean for Austin Mack? I don't know. And to be honest, I can't even remember. I think Ty Simpson is a sophomore, so he may not even be eligible for the draft. So we'll see how this plays out. But I trust the coaching staff, especially guys like Shep, Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb on their quarterback evaluations way more than I trust my own eyes because they've done it. Look at Michael Penix Jr. at Washington, one of the best quarterbacks to come through college football in the past 10 years. And, they've got guys that know how to evaluate that talent much better than we do. And so I have faith in that coaching staff to be able to find the talent that they need, bring them to Tuscaloosa, develop that talent. And so, if the quarterback room gets a little crowded and somebody wants to transfer, as long as it's not Keelan Russell, right? So, it's potentially going to happen. I think this year will be Ty Simpson's show for most of the year, unless he shows that he can't do the job. And then Austin Mack will get the nod, and then Keelan Russell. And so next year, they're obviously just with any offseason or any portal window, there's the potential of losing a quarterback. And so I think that's something Alabama fans just need to always be prepared for, no matter what, just because it happens in today's age of college football. And so I think either way, let's say you lose an Austin Mack and you bring this kid in. I think Alabama's in good position outside of youth, the quarterback room being extremely young at that point. And so, but right, it's June. We're heading into the 2025 season. Losing a quarterback is not something that we're super concerned with right at the moment because it's not a reality anytime soon. And so we'll see. In other quarterback news, Alabama also has offered Trent Seaborn out of Thompson High School. So that's somebody to watch down the road. Bama's just doing Bama things, man. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I think this is going to be that first domino that kind of trips. We've been telling you guys that June 26th through the first week of July, it's going to be a pretty good time for Alabama. So just stick around. Commitments are coming. I don't know if they'll land all of them. There's some varying opinions about some players, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, Bama's going to come out with a pretty solid class, a top 5 class for 2026. So, let me know what you think, guys. Are you excited about this? Do you feel like this was kind of a I don't know. I don't want to say they settled at the quarterback position. I've seen that comment a couple of times around. Or do you feel like Alabama is doing a really good job evaluating quarterbacks and finding guys that fit their system? So let me know what you say while you're over there. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can also find us over on social medias at X, Instagram. We have a Facebook group, all sorts of stuff. So don't miss out on anything. Stay up to date all the time with us. Like I said, we've got a really cool interview coming up with Nick Abrams. Clint Lamb's going to be on us live this Thursday night. So you make sure you set your calendar so you can be there. And until then, as always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.